And at our feature table, Gael Bauman and Liv Boeree will try to become the second female champion of this event. Gael, you were very impressive in the main event. What do you need to do to make a deep run here today?
I guess I'm going to be lucky enough to win flips.
What do you know about Liv's game?
We played each other 2 or 3 times, I think, but only in full ring tournament, so I never played a heads up. I don't know. We'll see.
Liv, let's move over to you. Did you get a chance to see Gael play this summer?
I certainly did, yeah. I was very impressed. I've never seen how she plays heads up, so it's going to be an interesting experience, and may the best woman win.
Well, good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Let's get the cards in the air.
And with that, we say welcome, Matt Vasgersian, along with Ali Najat. A rare occurrence tonight for just the 5th time in 473 career NBC heads-up matches. 2 women square off here at the National Heads-Up Poker Championship.
Yeah, it's pretty cool them putting us at the feature table. I didn't expect that.
Plans are going to start out.
Boeree, best known for the €1.25 million she banked at the 2010 EPT main event in San Remo. She actually roomed with fellow heads-up participants, Maria Ho and Vanessa Russo, during the 2012 World Series, a World Series where Gael Bauman burst onto the scene with a 10th place finish in the main event. She banked almost $600,000 for that showing.
And Liv takes Gael's big blind on the first hand.
Raised it up with deuce 3 suited. Gael had queen 4 suited. That's certainly within the range of hands you can expect someone to play, but she's starting the match off conservatively.
10-7 for Gael.
600.
And she raises to 600. Connecting cards for Liv.
Call 600.
She makes the call. And we'll see our first flop in this match. And Liv flops a full house.
Yikes. Gael's got an open-ended straight draw. Liv obviously going to check and throw her some rope. Understandably, Gael's going to bet the draw.
750.
750 to Liv. And she puts in a raise to 2,100.
Some deception value to the check raise on the flop with a full house. But Liv, of course, is taking the risk that she would just let Gael Bauman muck air here, as opposed to flat calling and keeping her in.
Gael made the call and the turn. King of diamonds. And now Gael's officially drawing dead.
5,400 in the middle. Something in the 2 to 2,500 range. Would be nice and tempting for Gael to continue.
Yeah, that's a bigger bet. 3,800 from Liv.
Might be designed to look bluffish and induce the playback from Gael here.
Well, she gets a call.
26% of the chips in play are in the middle right now, and we're only 2 hands in.
River's an ace of diamonds.
And Liv's just praying that Gael is backed into a flush here and will give her action.
And Liv puts in a bigger bet, 6,500.
It's exactly half the pot.
Gael folds. And Liv takes down a nice pot.
And got Gael to commit a lot of chips on the turn with just that straight draw on a paired board.
That's cool.
Liv lives in London herself.
Cab drivers are the ones that always recognize me. Like, it's not... I don't get recognized very much.
Suited 6-4 for Gael. She raises.
They're usually the people.
Suited queen 10 for Liv. And she makes the call.
Boeree enjoying a better than 3-2 chip lead, courtesy of that full house earlier in the match.
But it's Bauman that enjoys this flop. A big one for her. Top pair and a straight flush draw.
Needless to say, she's going to fire.
700 to Liv. And she makes the call.
Well, that's interesting. Liv is floating here. It's not that she thinks queen high is good. She just wants to get to this turn card and find out what Gael's going to do now that she's checked it to her.
Interesting turn card. Gael improves to 2 pair, but now Liv also has a flush draw. 1,500 to Liv, and she makes the call.
Now, Liv could have made a play at this pot on the turn, but the board texture is dangerous with 4 to a straight out there.
River's a deuce of spades. It pairs the board, and Liv makes her flush.
If the texture wasn't the best for Gael on the turn, it's even worse on the river.
Showdown.
Understandably,
back.
she checks behind, and Boeree rolls over the queen high flood.
Summer France's Gael Bauman nearly made World Series of Poker history when she almost became the second woman ever to make the main event final table. Tonight, she's paired with another female in Liv Boeree as they compete in the first round. But Ali, as we know, two female players, but not the same style necessarily.
Not at all. Liv Boeree is a seasoned tournament player, and she has a very impressive resume. And her victories have come as a result of being the aggressor. Given what we've seen of Gael Bauman on her way to that effort to make the final table at the main event, she's a very patient player. I think that is not going to serve her well here against Liv. I like Boeree through to the next round.
And Liv with a better than 2-to-1 chip advantage over Gael Bauman here. Jack 4 offsuit.
Liv taking her time to assess the situation before looking at her hole cards.
750.
She puts in a raise. Suited King Jack for Gael.
Bad timing to have Jack 4 offsuit. You know Gail's not going anywhere. And she might be thinking 3-bet here. Haven't seen that from Gael thus far in the match. This is the best hand she's had pre-flop.
And she puts in a raise to 2,100.
2,100 total.
Seldom do we see a player in position on the button release a hand, but I don't know that I'd be entirely against the idea of just pitching the Jack 4 offsuit if I were Liv.
Well, how about a big re-raise instead to 4,900?
I actually like that better. If she thinks Bauman is making a play at her, this is the correct response. Wow.
Bauman folds.
That's a great example of why being aggressive is so effective in heads-up poker.
The poker room at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, and back to our featured table where Liv Boeree continues to lead Gael Bauman. Blinds are up to 2 and 400 here in the diamonds bracket. Ace King for Gael. She puts in a raise to 800.
Still a min raise with the blinds having gone up. Pretty ugly holding for Liv Boeree.
And look at this. She will put in a re-raise to 2,700.
2,700.
Well, better to 3-bet and try to win it right here than smooth call, and I don't think Gail's going anywhere.
All in.
No, Gail's raising all in.
How much did you got?
13.
Well, Boeree's asking for a count, but it's hard to imagine she's going to call with 9 deuce off.
It's all right. Just approximately? Just approximately, what was it? Like?
Oh, 85, 95, 10,700.
10,700. Okay.
She folded anyway, but still wanted the count.
That's the lazy way to find out what your opponent has. Heads up, when you know what the starting stacks are, you can always just count your own and do the math.
Suited connecting cards for Liv here, 6-5 of clubs. True to form, she raises. Ace Jack for Gael.
Another big ace. And she hasn't been content to just smooth call in these spots. She likes to 3-bet. So this is a different look. She's just calling with the ace jack.
And the flop, 6 deuce 9, no clubs, but Liv pairs her 6.
Yeah, not Gail's favorite flop by any stretch. Knuckles over to Liv, and needless to say, she's going to bet with middle pair. But what do you do now if you're Gael? You don't want to just check fold. It's tough to hit a pair, and the board texture is such that you don't need to be too intimidated.
Gael makes the call, turns a 10 of spades.
Oh, now it's going to be a little tougher for Liv to bet on the turn. But that's not going to slow her down. With third pair on the board, she is reaching for chips.
And she bets 1,700.
1,700.
Well, credit Gael for laying down there. If she calls the 1,700 on the turn, she's then got to worry about potentially being faced with an even...
It's a nearly 3-to-1 chip advantage, meanwhile, for Liv Boeree, who continues to lead Gael Bauman. Ace-5 for Gael.
Blinds aren't so high that Gael doesn't have an opportunity to still play poker here.
Those blinds are at 3 and 600. Liv has raised and re-raised frequently in this match, and it looks like she's measuring out a re-raise here.
Wow, Boeree really must think she can win every single hand against Gael.
Total.
Blinds moving up between Boeree and Bauman, up to 4 and 800 now.
Gael hovering around that 20 big blind area. Still has play.
Liv with 5-4 offsuit. And why not put in a raise?
She's staying true to form, out of position, on the button, always being the aggressor.
Ace-8 for Gael. She calls.
Call.
Gael really has allowed Liv to dictate this match.
Flop is 8-6-10. Interesting flop. Gael Bauman pairs her 8, and now Liv Boeree has an inside straight draw.
Yeah, she's got the bad end of it. The 7 would allow a player with a 9 to have a better straight.
2,200.
Boeree betting 2,200 after Gael checks to her, and Gael with a quick call.
On the flop, 10-6-8.
To the turn. Ace is up now for Bauman.
Third club on the board gives both players a flush draw. Gail's his best. She checks. Liv shuts down.
To the river, a jack of spades.
If Gael bets here, that'll be the end of this hand. She fires 3,800. Liv understandably pitching 5 high. And Gael
Back to Liv Boeree and Gael Bauman. Blinds at 4 and 800 here as this match is tightened up a bit. Ace-King for Gael. She'll put in a raise to 1,600. Suited ace-deuce for Liv.
You wonder if she'll 3-bet this time.
Call.
Just a call.
We haven't seen a lot of just defending the big blind out of Liv Boeree. She tends to want to take the lead.
Flop is Queen 4-9.
Total swing and a miss here for Liv.
Liv is checked.
Gael can't slow down. She's got to fire the continuation bet. Not in the business of relinquishing control of the pot, which she's purchased with that pre-flop raise.
Liv is called. And the turn. Pairs Boeree's deuce.
Wow, what a fortunate card. Liv doesn't know it, but she's just gotten really lucky to make the best hand. No action on the turn.
Check, check, and now 2-pair for Boeree.
This is real bad news. Running aces up for Liv, and she slips it to Gael, giving Gael a chance to do what she thinks might be bluff at this pot or bet an ace.
500.
3,500 to Liv. She just calls and takes down the pot.
Should raised.
I'm really surprised that Liv didn't check raise the river here. If Gael had an ace and a pair on the flop, she would have bet the turn as well.
100. Liv Boeree continuing to lead in this match. Ace-4 for Gael.
She's been picking up some pretty good hands.
All in.
And she's raising all in. King-8 for Liv.
That's certainly within the range of hands that Liv feels may be best against Gael here. Really close.
Cool.
Call.
And she's called.
All in.
She'll take her chances with the King-8 up against the Ace-4.
Liv has the chip
3-2
lead,
dog
but she is
heading to the
behind
flop.
in the hand. Ace-4 for Gael. King of Hearts, 8 of Diamonds for Liv. Right to the flop we go.
Gael hoping to catch a break here. Double up and take the chip lead.
4 in
Flop
the
is
window.
4-5-6. Gael makes
Pair of
bottom
fours
pair.
leads.
But as you see, the percentages really haven't changed much at all. Boeree picks up a 7 to hit a gut shot straight as one of her outs.
Turn is 6 of hearts. No help for Liv.
Now Gael's a better favorite. Just
Here's the
needs
river.
to dodge the 7, 8, or king.
And it's a 9.
Rivers
Gael
and
Bauman
9 of
doubles
clubs,
up.
and Gael Bauman has doubled up into the
31,000
lead.
now.
6 and 1,200, and Gael Bauman still in the lead.
She's got the button, and she's had a lot of aces in this match. Here's another one, Ace-7 off.
She'll call.
That's a bit of a different look.
8-6 for Liv.
All in.
And she raises all in. Quick call from Bauman.
Wow. Liv must think that whenever Gael's limping the button, she's weak enough to just go away.
7
She got
for
her
Gael,
foot caught in a
8-6
trap here.
For Liv. Let's see the flop.
And the flop.
Feeling lots of 6s.
Oh,
Ace
she
high
didn't
for
want to
2
feel that
fours.
ace.
It's going to be hard to win. I need some help.
Liv has a firm grasp of her fate
It's
here.
not the best, is it?
She needs a 5 through an 8 on the turn just to have a shot at winning this pot on the river.
Now the turn.
The turn card.
Another ace
And
Gael
what a
Bauman.
punctuation mark on this match. Gael Bauman advances to the round of 32.
Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Well played. Good game. Good luck.
Credit Gael Bauman. She kept her composure when she was down and out and combated Liv's aggressiveness.
Thank you.
Gael will move on to take on Dan Smith in the round of 32.